Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shaq here, and welcome to Star Trek Online. Yeah, that's right, I'm actually interviewing the guys behind Star Trek Armada 3. So that is the Sins of a Solar Empire Total Conversion. If you're on my channel, you probably know I've done like 4 Let's Plays on it now, and I'm horribly addicted to it. It's ridiculously popular right now. So join with me, of course, is the lead developer, Max Loaf. What's up, man?
Hi, it's not loaf.
It looks like
How many times do I have to tell you it's not?
It's meatloaf.
It's Hof. Yes, from now on it shall be referred to as Hof.
The L is silent.
Oh, man. So could you introduce your team for me?
Well, this is Dickface McGee, Golden Cat, and...
Which one's Dickface McGee and which one's Scalded Cat?
Well,
No, you did figure that one out.
Oh, I figured out
Dickface
one.
McGee is the guy from Sins of the Prophets who's dancing around behind us with the spray gun.
Yes.
Excellent.
We've got
to
the...
know, this Romulan fellow who Miss Blue, they're not part of the team. Get out of here.
We've got Morn here, our supreme god and leader. Then we've got the Cardassian at the other end of the bar, that's Golden Cat, also known as Technophobius. We've got Connor here, who's known as Connor, who is known as Killer BC. And to the left of me is that old British guy, Mindwipe.
Well, hey guys, thank you for joining me. So what are the roles for whatever? I'm gonna cut that out because I can't talk today. Or maybe I won't. So go ahead. What's everybody's roles? I know Max, you're the one who's pretty much leading this thing. We wouldn't have the mod without you. But what has everybody else been doing? I know you broke up the development into subgroups.
Well, I think that's best for everyone else to say what they do. Chris, why don't you start?
Usually, I run the code. That's basically all I do. I don't do any of the visuals in the game at all. I just crunch numbers. That's all I do. And I look pretty.
And you look pretty.
How about you, Killer?
Me? Well, you know, I do all the, you know, I'm starting to do all the little icons in the research. We've had some help with that recently, and the loading screens. Yeah, that's about it, really. Oh, and the victory and defeat screens as well. You know, I do all the little fancy artwork stuff. So yeah, that.
Nice.
And over to Phil.
Wow, that was short and sweet.
Well, yeah, you know, get straight to the point.
As for me, I generally do most of the audio engineering. That mainly includes the music and the voiceover sounds for the most part. Occasionally help out with some of the user interface and help Max occasionally with some of the sound effects.
I'm sorry, Phil, but I think you're selling yourself short. Phil here is the genius that designed every single user interface for every faction except for the Federation one. So I think he deserves a bit more props than he's given himself on that one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, fair point.
Right on. Right on.
I did that wonderful interface you love so much, where you like to give glory to your house
Yes.
on your Let's Play.
I bring great honor to my house. Yeah, definitely. The Klingon Empire. It's the best side in Star Trek Armada 3, if you guys aren't aware. Because it's my favorite. If you can't tell from the Klingon behind the bar.
What is that guy from Sins of the Prophets doing to my avatar?
Fisting. It's called fisting.
Oh no.
Go back to Halo.
All right, so with all the press you guys have received for this mod, I mean, it's gotten crazy popular. You guys had the spotlight from Total Biscuit. You've been on, what is it, Nerdcube? Did you expect this much of a, like, all of the Star Trek fans to come out of the woodwork and say, oh my god, this is amazing?
Are you kidding me? Like hell we didn't.
Just a term, holy shit, where did that come from?
Yeah, that.
Now I have to ask, how many downloads have you gotten?
Just over 36,000 now.
I think that's actually a bit more. Aren't we at 38,000 at this point?
Yeah,
Good lord, when did that happen?
38,000?
I'm checking right now. If it's up to 40,000, I'm gonna scream.
It's just over 38,000.
38,067.
Good lord.
That's in just over a month, and that's not even a full. That's not even a full release mod.
Oh my. Oh man. And that's for the beta version. So this isn't even the balanced version.
That's the early beta version.
Damn.
From the amount of crap we've changed over the last couple of weeks.
I know, me personally, I've got over 100 hours logged into just the mod. I played the mod more than I played the original game, and the game's been out for years. So thank you guys for something so awesome. I'm such a Trekkie, and this was like, there's no good Star Trek games out right now, except for maybe the one we're sitting in. So
Well,
Ah.
good as good as
Oh
good.
yeah.
Good.
Mm,
Let's just say I'm not
great.
that.
it's free to
Very
play though.
subjective term.
It's free to
They
play.
didn't even have a
so-
Cardassian preset.
Ah.
Just got to throw that out there.
All right. So what originally got you guys started on the mod? You just came out of nowhere.
well,
or- Yep.
That was like a real long time ago, because I basically started modding Sins of Solar Empire when like version 1.0 came out, but that never really got anywhere, and then I kind of decided to revive the mod somewhere in 2012-ish.
Well,
And
like,
really
if I
ran
Yeah.
the rest from
if-
there.
If I could interject there, Max, because you were working on another mod at the time when you came up with the idea for the Sins mod as well.
Yeah.
You were working on the Star Trek Legacy mod with Chris Jones Gaming, with myself and a few others,
Yeah.
called Ultimate Universe, and he came up with the idea way back then, when Sins first came out, like he said.
And nobody believed me. Yo,
I
it's
believe.
crazy.
No, I believe. You can remember, you know. But it depended on how you were going to go about it. It kind of was slow going, like you said, and then around about
Put those
2012
tribbles down.
What? Tribbles.
Around about 2012 when it came back into its fruition, wasn't it, Max?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you mentioned Star Trek Legacy, the game that was released that was pretty much just broke on arrival. And if you look at the wiki for this one, it's actually the only mod labeled in the wiki for it. This is the mod that, what you guys were telling me, it fixed the game, right? Like this was the one you had to download to play it if you wanted to play multiplayer or just enjoy it at all.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't too bad on the Xbox if you really tried.
If you really, really love Star Trek and that's the only gaming system you have, then.
It was at the time as well.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
was
problem.
back then. It was back then. The only thing is, and here's the sad part is with that particular old mod, we did actually try and put it out on Xbox, but Microsoft just mired us up with red tape. No way we were getting it on there.
Yeah, well, that sounds like Microsoft, especially with their Xbox Live servers and.
And they said that we had to actually go through Mad Dog Software to get approval. Trouble is, Mad Dog Software went bankrupt and were bought up by Rockstar 6 months later. So we couldn't win either way.
Yeah, there's just no way of doing it.
Yes.
Ugh.
It's kind of, like bureaucrats in a way.
Load of red tape, you know.
It made me feel like this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But me and Max both did work on that, and we are the only two members from that team, apart from Admiral Hughes, occasionally helps us out with beta testing and map making, were part of that project, and all the rest of the team here kind of have joined us in the last 7 to 9 months. Wouldn't you agree, Max?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's kind of when the pace really started picking up, because I already had quite a few stuff done, but just the sheer amount of stuff that just happened,
Right.
was insane.
So that's how it all started.
Once these other guys joined us, it just really started going fast.
Yeah, because I can remember when I first joined, even the Romulans weren't even in a playable state. barely the Klingons.
The Klingons didn't even have their research trees, and then Chris was like, "Okay, I'm doing that shit."
Oh, and then you had that
But the
stint where you had to rewrite most of the code, didn't you, because of a patch that came out or something?
Let's just say if that happened now, I would kill myself.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
I doubt it does.
It's good to see. It's good to see that that it started with a humble origin, beginning with what Max had as an idea, and it was put on a hiatus because he was basically a one-man show, weren't you, Max?
Oh yeah.
And then you, me, and Q got together. We were playing. What were we playing? We were playing SWTOR, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And he said, "Oh, I'm working on this one." We went, "Oh, fuck it. We'll jump in and give you a helping hand." And it just blossomed from there.
Awesome. So, okay, so tell me this. Now, I've watched a lot of other people's coverage of the mod, and they have the issues that they always seem to be more Sins related. What kind of challenges have you guys run into working in the Sins engine?
Oh, 32-bit. 32-bit.
That's
1,000 times 32-bit.
Yeah, that 4 gig limit is just... No, 2 gig limit, isn't
2
it? Sorry.
gig limit.
Yeah, 2 gig limit.
It is, sadly, it's a limited engine, and there are certain things that we'd really like to do that basically we've only been able to do by tricking it using abilities and buffs, etc. That, realistically speaking, if it was a better engine, it would have been able to do to start with.
Right. So explain the 2 gig limit, though, because some people may not know what that is.
Sins of Solar Empire is a 32-bit game, meaning at whatever point the game will only be able to use 2 gigabytes of memory, which really limits us to the amount of stuff we can do. Like, we can't add as much high-res stuff in as we want, and we've got to really optimize a lot of things so it doesn't hit that 2 gig limit. Mind you, we found a somewhat workaround with a large address-aware patch, but this only works on 64-bit systems, of course.
Oh, okay, so that limits who can actually
Mind you,
play
if you
it.
still have a 32-bit system, you know, you really should stop gaming altogether.
Just stop gaming, pack up, and go home.
I mean, even Connor's laptop here is 64-bit. I mean, that thing's
I
like
know.
built in 1864.
It's powered by coal.
Thomas Edison's first pet project.
Oh, man. All right. So why call it Star Trek Armada 3, though? Why is it? It's not the third mod you guys have done. So explain that one so people who don't know, because some of those games are a little old.
Well, Star Trek Armada and Star Trek Armada 1 were 2 RTS games which came out like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, 2000 and 2002 or 1.
Yeah, something around that. And this game I decided to basically make, you know, because we're using a lot of sound files for it, you know. I thought, you know, like, why not try to make this be like a spiritual successor? And, you know, that's kind of where the name comes from.
Okay. So
Lack of a good name has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Oh,
fair enough.
Oh, believe me, when he was early developing this, like I say, years ago, he had a variety of names. Trust me, some of them were weird and some of them weren't.
Okay. I know there's a lot of nostalgia for Star Trek Armada 1 and 2. One of the guys who actually, our community manager, used to mod for Star Trek Armada 2, and he was like, oh, he was so excited just because of the name of this one. So I like it. The name, it was a good choice.
Who's that guy? And Kevin was...
Maybe. Get you into touch with
The,
him. So.
the other point, to further on what Max is saying, is that Armada 3, like he says, is a spiritual successor, because the way the game's being developed, it is taking on a lot of elements of the Armada 1 and 2 games and throwing them into the Sins engine.
Right on.
See, I suppose as well, the good thing as well, you can kind of see that Sins has a natural progression as well from Armada 2, because Armada 2 was starting to introduce colonization and trade and stuff.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, put it on a bigger scale.
Yeah, the scale for Sins. I mean, that's why I love this game so much. And then the fact that you put it into Star Trek is that you could zoom out from one planet, and then you've got like the whole solar system or galaxy to work off of. It's pretty cool.
Well, if you remember, Shaq, the original Armada games, they did have the ability where you could zoom right in on the ships and see the combat as it happened.
Right on. Yeah.
The Sins game kind of has expanded on that with what they've done with the.
Mind you, with Armada, you were stuck in that vision.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
You know, they tend to just sit there and shoot at each other, just don't move.
I think the nutshell. Would you agree, Max? Was it was just a logical progression. If we're going to do a Star Trek game, let's do a spiritual successor. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Makes sense.
Any Star Trek game that you can go straight from the micro to the macro and back again was always going to be quite exciting for anybody who loves Star Trek, because I think people who watch the shows, who've played the games, they tend to focus on one ship or on one crew, and to be able to zoom right out there to see what's going on in the rest of the galaxy, I'm sure a lot of people kind of they have those thoughts in the back of their mind. So being able to play this game and do it on a large scale and actually control everything that's happening in the galaxy, that's quite exciting.
It really is. And then the fact that the stories that come out of it, like, I've had many conversations with people that I played multiplayer matches afterwards where we'll be talking about, you know, the Klingon Empire, we end up having a neutral zone, and then the Romulans show up, and you get that very Star Trek-esque, people kind of take on the roles of those factions. And from that scale, so, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. You can kind of see that in the Let's Plays that I've done. You know, we'll have the Klingons rushing in, being very aggressive, and, oh yeah, good times. So...
I can say one thing about Star Trek Armada 3, at least it isn't graphically glitched as online is right now, because I'm seeing Max Loaf doing the bar.
That's Max Loaf!
And he's actually going through he's actually doing it through Quark's bar and my body, which is kind of weird.
I'm a ghost.
He's not actually
Because he's
here.
totally legit.
I'm a ghost, Phil.
See all these bottles on the table? They're actually empty. That explains everything going on right now.
Pretty.
I didn't do
my glass
nothing.
ain't
Let me
empty.
just have another one.
I don't know what you guys are talking
Now
about.
he's dancing on the tables.
Oh,
And this is their fearless leader.
You know, screw this, I'm
I
going
bet you're
home.
seeing him triple.
I'm not
No.
kidding. With a guy,
Look, guys, I didn't have too much to drink. Piss off!
I'm just getting a little annoyed with the idea of Sins of the Prophets guy fisting me.
Mind
If
you,
you-
we've also got 3 dancing Cardassians, or 2 dancing.
If you don't know, Sins of the Prophets is another Sins of a Solar Empire total conversion that's over on Mod Database, and I did a spotlight of it a while back. One of their developers is in the background doing horrible, horrible things.
He's a good friend. He's just
That's
showing
the
off.
type of person he is.
He's a good friend. He's just showing off, just to
He
make
can
laughs.
jump ridiculously high as well. That's remarkable. You must have calves of steel.
I was gonna say,
Cards of
I
steel.
was gonna say that's pretty high for a white guy.
I gotta ask you guys about this, since we're talking about the Sins of the Prophets guy in the background. The Sins modding teams, the different teams for all the different mods, seems to work really well together. Like, you guys aren't really competitors, more like you're one giant team all helping each other out. Is that how it really is, or is that just me looking out from the outside?
We certainly try to be, yeah.
Yeah, we are pretty much a conglomerate of people.
For the most part, that's true. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
obviously, some
great to
teams
me.
are quieter than others. There's, I mean, probably the best mod on ModDB right now, Sins of the Royal Navy. They're a little bit quiet with us, and they don't talk to us very much.
You went there, Chris?
Had to go there, didn't you?
Chris, he
went
has a
there,
vision.
Tech?
He wants to see sailing ships in space.
I do. I want to see sailing ships in space with Bajorans on, so I can shoot them with my galore.
He actually went there.
He
Awesome.
did, unfortunately. Didn't
Oh, great. All right, so let's get into the sound, because we were talking about it crashing and loading up all these textures and sound files. I love the sound design, the fact that you guys have music and songs that go with every one of the empires. So, Mindwipe, tell me more about that. And like,
Well,
what?
go ahead. Ask your question first.
No, that's pretty much the question. Yeah, tell me everything about that, because I love the soundtrack for this game.
Well, basically, when it comes to the, I assume you're referring to the music at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, when it came to the music, first and foremost, initially we decided to actually honor the composer of the original Star Trek Armada games, which was a guy called Danny Pelfrey, which was basically taking all the music he did from Armada 1 and 2 and then digitally remastering them to fit into the modern day Sins environment, you know, with the... So they all basically functioned, but also sounded like they were being played by a full orchestra to, you know, coincide with this visual style of the game.
Right.
As the games progressed, we figured out that Danny Pelfrey's library is a little limited. even though he did a lot of the Activision games, but as time progressed, we realized that a lot of tracks that he composed were repeated throughout the course of the Activision library. So we've expanded it out to include a variety of games from the other Star Trek franchise games, like Academy, Klingon Academy, New Worlds.
Ah, New
all
Worlds,
that
really?
type of- yeah, well, surprisingly enough, for those little people know this, but the intro movie on the mod currently,
Yeah.
that theme is the Federation Encounter music from Star Trek Encounters.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
well, New Worlds. is
Yeah.
it? New
Was
Worlds.
that the New Worlds intro?
New Worlds. Not
Sorry,
Encounters.
Star Trek.
Oh, New
Let's
Worlds,
say
right.
Encounters have the same music as Legacy.
My bad. It's Star Trek New Worlds Federation Encounters. That's where I'm getting confused. So my apologies. It's the Federation Encounter music from New Worlds. The weird thing is, we've incorporated a really good piece of music from a really shitty RTS.
So one good thing came out of that game, at least.
Yeah,
One good
exactly.
thing.
Well, a couple of good things came out of it, which we'll get into when you were talking about the expansion later, as we've seen on your cue sheet. But the one thing is, we picked a lot of tracks. Me and Max sat down, we went, that's a good track, that's a shit track, that's a good track, that's a good track, that's a pile of crap. And we worked together and stuff. And we still, to this day, are still scouting for replacement music to supplement some of the older stuff with better quality versions of the music.
Right.
But the whole idea was to give an atmospheric experience, but at the same time honoring the Armada series and the Star Trek gaming series as a whole, back when it was in its heyday.
If you guys will notice when you're playing the mod, the different races have different songs. So when I play the Klingons, you get that kind of driving, the warrior beat going down. When you get the Federation, the very exploration and the classic music. It's so good.
There's also one thing me and Max did agree on when we were early developing the mod back in April last year, wasn't it, Max?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
we wouldn't use any of the music from the actual shows and series.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
So every piece of music you hear in the game will be something from a prior Star Trek game.
Oh,
Just
that's
digitally
awesome.
mastered.
And not just the same themes or anything like that. Cool.
Yeah, and it'll be incorporated appropriately for whatever scenario that the game calls upon.
Funny enough, the game also, when it does it, it actually does it also where it plays the tracks when you are fighting that race. So when you're as a Federation and you're fighting a Klingon, you might hear a Klingon combat track come up.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it varies it. It's a wonderful thing about the Sins engine. It does vary it. So having that variety of music really does give the atmosphere, a little bit more credence.
Yeah.
Point of phrase.
I love that idea too, because if you play like myself, I'm playing with the Klingons all the time, on or off screen. So I hear that music all the time. So that makes sense that they mix it up a bit more with when I fight the Federation.
A beautiful example is if you're actually fighting against the Borg, you go into a Borg battle and you're playing as the Klingons or any of the other races, and you'll hear the Borg music coming in, and it's like, oh shit, because it just sets the atmosphere and the tone.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love how he's doing the robot back here, because we're nothing but professional. Damn it,
What on
Morn.
earth is going on?
I found the emote.
Humans! Oh,
I'm happy. My life is complete.
let me
now.
sort this out.
Now,
All right.
further on to your question about the
Oh,
sounds.
stop.
You don't
Further
ever
on, to,
stop.
further on to about the sounds, to answer the second part of your question, Shaq. I primarily focus on the voiceover files. Not so much on the sound effects. That's usually Mac's department. He kind of has got an idea of what he wants for the sound effects of the weapon.
Pew 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 pew!
Yeah,
He's got the
and
pew-pew down.
explosions yeah, he's got the pew-pews down and the explosion sounds down and all sorts. I help out occasionally. I mean, we may as well let it know. Everybody knows about the Armored Voyager. We actually had to piece that together between the Romulan cloaking device and a load of mechanical sounds just to recreate that.
It's awesome though. It fits perfectly.
But most of the stuff I actually do on sound files is the voiceovers. Now, a lot of them, as we know, have been taken straight from Armada 1 and 2. There's a few that have been taken for the diplomacy aspects in the current upcoming build, which have been taken again from encounters. So you get things like the Klingon Empire recognizes your prowess.
I'm assuming you mean Birth of the Federation.
No, they came from encounters. Not encounters from again from New Worlds. My apologies.
I was going to say, Encounters was that shitty PS2 game.
I know. I don't know why I've got
Yeah.
that. I don't know why I'm fixated on that. But yeah, it came from New Worlds.
It came from behind.
Maybe just thinking of terrible games.
Yeah, I know, maybe. But
They all just mush together after a while.
But I don't know. Birth of the Federation wasn't a bad game. Nonetheless,
Good.
No, I was thinking of Birth of the Federation.
sideline. It didn't come from Birth of the Federation. But most of the stuff we've done has been ripped directly from, again, Armada 1 and 2. A couple of sounds have been incorporated from New Worlds and stuff like that with the voices. And with the upcoming pack, we've actually got some voiceovers done by a variety of community members, including yourself, Shaq.
Yeah, I'm in there now. So
Yes, you are.
what am I voicing for people so they know?
You are voicing one of the Cardassian...
Garbage Scow.
Oh, I got regulated to the garbage scow.
No, you're voicing one of the Cardassian capital ships.
The best capital ship. I don't even know what it is yet, but it's got my voice. It's got to be awesome. I'm so excited for that one. I'm actually going to be
giant
part
video
of Star
camera
Trek Armada 3. I'm going to be a voice. So
You're
cool.
currently listed as Cardassian capital ship, Battleship 3. So whatever Max assigns that voice file to as voice file, that's what you're voicing.
Oh, I can't wait. That will definitely be on the channel. That its own
Yep.
spotlight. Just me clicking that button over and over
We also-
again.
We also have included for the upcoming voiceover stuff, Baron Dixon, who did the narration for the intro movie. He's doing the Jem'Hadar.
Nice.
We've got Chris Interat, who's actually a very good improv YouTuber, who's doing the voice of some Cardassians and also another variation of the Jem'Hadar in case we ever choose to use it. And also we've got, surprisingly enough, from Sins of the Prophets. If you've ever seen, you remember the trailer you spotlighted a month ago, Shaq, of Sins of the Prophets?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the voice you hear at the end where it goes, slipstream rupture detected, the female?
Yeah.
That's Sancho's, who works on the Sins of the Prophets team's significant other, and she's a big Star Trek fan, and she's voicing our female Vorta.
Nice. So you even got the
we-
female Vorta now. That's going to be cool. The Jem'Hadar. And Baron Dixon, he's doing Jem'Hadar. That's going to be awesome. That's yeah, I know he already said this, but that's the guy who did the intro for the mod right now. So.
Oh yeah, it was a choice between we get him doing a Klingon, which wasn't needed, or we get him doing Jem'Hadar. And since the Jem'Hadar are quite similar, it's like, yeah, can you do some Jem'Hadar? And he went, hey, no problem.
That's so awesome. All right, so we talked about the sound design. Tell me about the texture work, the effects. Like, what's your and
God,
tell me what your
come in
favorite
again.
ship is. That's also one thing I want to know is what your favorite ship in the mod is so far.
Oh, in the mod. Damn it, I was gonna say Galore, but
In the mod, yeah, one that they've already seen.
well, my favorite ship in the mod right now. Let me think about that one for a second. It'd have to be the Akira class.
The Akira,
I mean-
really?
Yeah, cause it's just nice. I like the design of it.
Fair enough. What about the rest of you guys? If you want to just kind of go through the line, what's your favorite ship in the mod right now?
Eyes on the wheel.
Chris?
Oh, me, really surprisingly, I think it's the Miranda at the moment.
What?
I've got a big thing for the Constellation as well.
Hold up, is that the normal Miranda or the debris mesh?
That's the normal Miranda. I love the ship. It's probably because it's so iconic, and I've recently watched The Wrath of Khan. But
Good man.
much of the time, I do really like the Constellation as well. I just I found myself looking more at the older designs, or the TMP era designs, if you like, and yeah, I seem.
RC.
Yeah, and going with the Excelsior as well. Oh,
Yeah, that's
great
what I was going to
design.
say. Yeah, the Excelsior is probably on my list right now for just the detail on that model itself and just the ship. The ship is pretty.
It's worth noting at this point that model changes. After you get the Lakota refits research, it changes from the base model into the Enterprise B model.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's with the wings, right, on the back of the nacelles. And it
That's
looks
the
a little
one.
stocky.
Yeah, that's the one, and it also
It's
has
got
some
a boat
extra.
saucer. Not a boat saucer. Boat secondary hull into it.
Yeah, it's also got some extra impulse engines and stuff, and it's bulkier.
It's gained weight.
Yeah,
I
it's
love how
like-
the Sins of the Prophets guy is now dancing on the bar in front of us.
As long as it doesn't start doing push-ups.
I think
Push-ups.
M4, do one, please.
my favorite ship would have to be the Quebec, because that thing just looks mean.
Yes. All the
it's just-
Klingon ships look badass, though.
And the Quebec has had a bit of a boost, hasn't it, in power?
That's- We had
So
to
now
know
it's
that.
even better.
Now the
And,
Quebec. Oh well, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so now it's even better. So you can kick more ass with it.
Oh hell yeah.
Really.
My favorite ship, the Scimitar.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I'm surprised nobody said that right away, especially with the
I
new
love
animations.
what Max did with the Scimitar. I mean, he's like, going, yeah, we got the Scimitar in there. And then he showed me one afternoon, it's like, hey, watch what I've done in Particle Forge. We've cheated. We managed to make the wings work. And he did. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, every person who's told me on my Skype list that the Romulans, they can't wait to play as the Romulans before this came out, I sent them that link of the video you guys did where it's like opening up and getting ready to take the planet out.
Yeah.
And they were sold. They're like, nope, you went out and bought the game. As soon as they saw that, they're like, Sins, done.
I
Damn
think
it with the
we've been
push-ups.
responsible for quite a few sales, haven't we?
Yeah, Stardock, Ironclad, take notes. Send us a nice little
Present.
phone, present once in a while,
Yeah.
Just,
give us
a tip of the hat or
The only
something,
present
you know?
I want is a 64-bit Sins.
Never
Now
gonna
go,
happen.
Stardock.
Yes, we want Sins 2, the engine.
The engine, just the engine though. They'll do the rest.
I think every mod developer for Sins would love that as well, and not just us.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell
If you
what,
look
this
through the
is-
comments, though, of any of the videos that I've done on this mod, you'll just see, I'm buying this game right now. I'm buying it. I'm downloading it. There's a sale on Steam. I'm getting it. There's a ton of them. So definitely, can mods affect game sales way after release? Oh, hell yes. And this is the
Oh, yeah.
perfect example.
I've got to give one shout out while we're talking about Sins sales and Sins modding. A lot of the mods that a lot of the teams are doing, Sins of the Prophets, ourselves and stuff, a lot of the problems we've encountered have all been fixed by one guy, Larvo. And he really has stepped up to help a lot of the additional teams out.
his own mod is Sins of a Galactic Empire, and that's
Yeah.
really worth looking at.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
But
Particularly
he's
for a Star Wars fan.
he stepped up to the plate and helped out a lot of teams with little coding issues and all sorts of stuff, hasn't he, guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he deserves to get as good a mention for any development team let alone for his own little project with Sins of Galactic Empire.
All right, so that's
Little.
Sins of a Galactic
I wouldn't
Empire,
call it
total
little.
conversion into the Star Wars universe. Now, is that that one's already out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that
This
one's been
one
out
is
for a bit.
already.
Right, that one's already released. Okay, cool. All
That
right,
guy
so
is a genius.
he's the genius that helps all the other mod teams.
Yeah, if we
That's
can't
good.
fix it, he does.
That's awesome. I wish more mod teams, especially for games, would work together to the level that the Sins modders do. I hear the horror stories where people are complaining about stolen items and visuals and sound effects or whatever, but you guys seem to just like hey, I need help, I don't understand this part, and all work together. It's so friggin' cool.
It is. I mean, even if, I'm sure somebody will probably question it. Goes, well, how does this compare to Sacrifice of Angels 2? The weird thing is, My Fist Zero and all the team and Major Stress, even the guys over at Sacrifice of Angels, they've got their own little Star Trek mod going, and it's wonderfully received. It's a good game to play.
Yeah, I've
and
actually played that one. That one's fun.
Yeah, they give us as much props as we give them. We don't try and compete with them. We just give compliments when they've done something good and we've done something good. We give kudos where kudos is due, and that's a wonderful little trait, even though we are similarly designed mods with it being in the Star Trek universe.
Who is all these people behind you guys?
I don't know.
No idea.
We've
I
People
don't
are
know.
just like lining up to the bar.
I think we
You
have
know.
drawn a crowd. I think maybe a lot of Armada 3 players have actually realised all the names.
It's like, wait, what's going on here? I know these guys, except for me. I don't even know what I named my guy. It's been so long.
Probably
All
seen
right.
Mind Wipe and Gul Dukat and and all these people are going, we know
Wait.
those guys.
I know them.
Maybe mind you, I wouldn't be surprised if, Thingy got his whole team there.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that Markov has got everybody from
No
Sins of
cut.
Profits in here.
There's a guy
Yes.
called Dokat here. He must be shut down.
Dokat.
Oh man.
No, to the right of you.
Yeah, to my knowledge, there's no one from Sins.
What on
Quarks
earth is this pathetic
Bar.
excuse for a goal?
Bar, the best place to conduct an interview.
Oh,
You're one to talk, man. You're in a federation.
I'm having a drink.
just start pounding them back now. All right, so we've talked about the development of where we guys are at right now. Tell me about how the balancing is going, because this is the beta release that everybody's playing. This isn't the full version. This isn't completed or done in any way that everybody's playing right now. How is the balancing going and getting ready for the expansion?
Painful,
Round and round it goes.
hard, constant changing of everything, basically. I mean, you think that stuff like that's easy, but it's, number crunching and testing again and again, to the point where you really, really, really get sick of the main menu theme. I mean, that main menu theme, stuff like that's fine when you hear it once, but when you hear it like 6 or 7 times a day, starting the game up, if not more, it kind of goes like, you go nuts.
It was even changed, wasn't it, for a bit, just
Just to be more relaxing.
Oh wow.
because we did a massive balance change, didn't we? Like a couple of months back before we released the mod, just to basically make it feel more Star Trek. But capital ships were made more.
We did one then, and we've basically done another one since.
Yeah,
Well, not as big as that.
not as big. No.
I
Not
shouldn't
quite
actually
as
say
major.
this. I shouldn't actually say this, but when I'm beta testing the game, I actually turn the music off.
You've been
Coming from the guy who like set all the music up, he flicks it off.
But Max makes a valid point, because when you're actually developing a game, when you've heard the music 20,000 fucking times over, not only while beta testing the game, but when you're actually making the remastered versions, trust me, you get sick of hearing it pretty fucking quick.
Shortly before the Dominion Hammer Escape.
Even I skip that intro music. I do. It's like, I don't want to hear that shit. Turn it off.
Here I am loading it up. I'm like, oh, I love it, and you guys are just, I fucking can't stand it anymore.
The weird thing is, I know a few people in there who actually develop music for video games legitimately, for companies and stuff, and they say the same thing. Once the music's in the can, they fucking never hear it again.
They flick that stuff off. Oh, it's totally understandable though. But how goes the general balancing? Are you finding that harder than building all the systems initially, getting the research
think-
trees done?
Generally speaking, we're quite comfortable and happy with it, by
With-
and large now.
Yeah, by and large. I mean, there's just some
Little
tweaking
tweaks.
to do to the Borg mostly, but it's mostly the Borg at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's gotta be a nightmare to balance though.
Possibly. Right now, I almost think they're too weak. Everyone always disagrees with me.
Yes, I do agree. They're too strong. So
But
Oh,
I find
man.
them really, really easy to beat. So,
That's because you know what every ability does, always.
Right.
yeah, I guess that helps.
I just
man,
throw
so-
ships at them, and that.
Also, you know all the exploits just as I do.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no exploits. This is a
spam.
perfectly balanced game. I don't know what you're talking about. And Katinka
Yes.
spam was a legitimate strategy in the last Let's Play.
Yes. You know, it's a shame that has been changed, isn't it? I mean, it did a percent. Let's just say that Katinga ability was so overpowered, it did a percentage damage to your planet, and it stacked. So meaning, you know, if you had 10 Katingas, it would take off 10% of the planet's health a second.
Yeah, I could take 5 of those and take out a planet in
Although
like 10
it did
seconds.
claim that it didn't stack.
Yes, it was kind of a thing we found out, like, oh, it does stack.
It-
And we still have a problem with one really, really stubborn ability. You
Oh.
know
Yes,
which
we're
one.
gonna have to make it an active ability. I can't cope with that one anymore. I've tried everything. I've been over to its house. I've taken a dump through its letterbox. It's still not responding in the way I
Set
want.
fire to it as well, even, haven't you?
I've done it all.
Well,
Oh,
here's
man.
here's the beauty of it as well. Even though the mod teams do get on with each other, believe me, we've had fair amount of arguments about getting this balancing right.
It's
Seriously, amount of balancing arguments we've had. We won't go into any specifics, but let's put it this way: when it came to the Romulans,
Blood was shed.
yes, pretty
the
much.
Romulans. Oh god, the Romulan.
really.
God Almighty,
That was
yeah,
a
this-
shitstorm and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, many an argument over that one. It's like, that's gonna work. No, it ain't. That works fine. No, it fucking doesn't.
Well, the problem that we had is we found initially the Klingons. We worked out that they were a little underpowered because of their limited firing arcs, so we buffed them, and it's possible that we buffed them a little bit too much. And then we worked eventually, after much arguing,
Screaming from me, by the way.
much screaming from a lot of different people from various different directions. That made my head
Various
hurt,
different
damn you all.
continents.
I zoned out.
that the Romulans had become underpowered, quite chronically underpowered, so we had to rebalance them, and then we had to make sure that they were balanced in comparison to the Klingons and the Federation. And now we feel the Borg need rebalancing as a result of all the rebalancing that we've done. Oh my god, my brain!
It is, to coin the old phrase, it is surprisingly a balancing act in the very literal sense.
Yeah. Every time you change one thing, you've got to balance everybody else against it.
Exactly, yeah. So it is, in the literal sense, a balancing act. Yeah.
And then and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, you're never gonna have the 100% community like scream, "Yes, you guys got the Borg right."
Well,
No.
it's interesting you brought the community up, Shaq, who are very informed, see what they see in the game and what they've tested, because they know it's an open beta, effectively, and have given some really good feedback, and us as a team have acted upon it.
That's great.
So in a way, some people are very stupid, and to counterpoint that, some people are very, very, involved, who have really given some good feedback and pointed out some bugs that we may have missed, and we've acted upon it. So
Just to actually, because it will make him extremely happy, there's a fellow called Rick Adber who commented a few times on our ModDB page and in our forums, kind of suggesting bug fixes, etc., etc. And we've taken him into the beta test.
yeah, he's part of the team now.
Nice.
Mind you, the funny thing is, though, I mean, it's not that uncommon that we do things like that. I mean, that's how Chris and Connor here initially joined the team to begin with.
That's true, yeah.
I showed off a pretty render, and that was it.
That was it.
Chris
That's all it took.
And Chris, Technophobia's just never left us alone, and he kept pointing out bugs and stuff. So it's like, well, come in and join us. Now he's lead coder. He's helping Max bloody code the damn thing.
Right.
In
It's not
fact,
like he's
in
helping
fact, Chris
help-
even has underlings now.
Yes, he does.
Really?
He's even a team leader.
It's very exciting for me.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell me, how did Morn actually join the team? I hear he's the driving force behind the mod.
Well, we did a blood ritual where we summoned him, and he kind of says like, either you're gonna make me do stuff, or I'm gonna take all your souls. So we're kind of stuck in that.
Provides the moral core. He gives us infinite wisdom.
Yes, that too.
We just put more in here for the simple fact, just to jerk off Dan Starr, but that's a subject for another time.
Well, those 3 hairs on his head are very mesmerizing, I have to say. All right, so tell me this, and I'm kind of curious what your guys' answers are going to be. The races. Was there a core design idea behind each race? Or like a philosophy behind designing how they're going to play out? Like maybe one's a DPS, or intel, or how does it all work for the per race?
Absolutely. There was. I mean, from the very get-go, we decided we wanted to not make each faction, like the Federation, but different. Well, we really wanted to have uniqueness of each faction as well.
Okay.
So yeah, so considering one thing, it was in canon, and secondly, it makes the gameplay more interesting. So there are certain aspects to each faction, which I think make them very unique. For example, the Romulans might have very good shields, but their hulls, can be atrocious.
Okay. So what were you thinking with my Klingons?
Oh, the Klingons, they're all burst damage. They're all armor, not so great shields. And one of their biggest letdown is they don't have that good regeneration abilities or hull heal abilities. Meaning, they can strike quick, strike hard, but
don't turn your back on your enemy.
They're not made for a continuous warfare.
So hit them fast, hit them hard, and then you're going to be sitting there for a while, kind of rebuilding the fleet, or at least fixing the fleet.
Good thing with the Klingons is if you disregard for all safety of their ships and you build like shipyards in the adjacent gravity well to your enemy and you just churn them out, sending them constantly in there.
That sounds like a Klingon strategy.
And it works, doesn't it, Max?
Oh please, Connor, don't hurt me anymore. Especially after I've broken your trust.
He's broken my trust, so I can never trust him.
I was playing a Romulan.
What happened here? I want to hear this.
Well, we were playing a multiplayer game, and me and Keith, which is another one of our new coders, basically, we're both Romulan. We kind of made this deal early in the game, like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find every possible way to work us closer to each other, and then we're going to betray everyone.
I think my guy's doing some kind of Ducat speech by himself in the corner. What's going on here?
I don't know. I just zoomed in to look at it too.
And
see, Max, you were a bastard. That's what you were. The problem was as well, because I had a large fleet, but I wasn't doing anything with it. My economy was fucked. So if he did attack me, I would have been screwed and just had a lot.
And I was just sitting there gathering the money, relying on my allies' protection, slowly working my way, towards, Keith's territory. And then when we were together, we were like, okay, where's that go to war button? Click.
Why is there
that is so messed up.
troop next to?
And then basically I was like, okay, let's take.
Oh god, the Mass Effect squad are here as well.
Yeah. Let's take my now level 7 and 8 capital ships and wreck his world's day.
Right on. That sounds like a Sins match. I know we tried to do a smaller version of this interview, and it was a competitive match. And what ended up happening, yeah, you remember that one? I'm playing Klingons, and we got so into the actual match that we just totally forgot we were recording.
There was no interview, was there? Yeah, I remember that.
It was like 15 minutes in, and then it was just done. Like, no, we're in this now. We're fighting. We're playing this.
There was like massive silence suddenly, because everyone's like, all right, okay, I'm making a fleet. I'm killing this guy.
What was it? Okay, so it's like, what are we supposed to do in the interview? Oh, fuck that. Let's play the game.
Yeah, an hour in, and I'm like, Fraps is still running, and my hard drives are full, but I don't care because I'm gonna win this. Oh, all right. So good time. So tell me, this is the question that people really want to know. What is next? What's coming out next? Not balances, not the next big patch that finishes it off, but what's the big thing coming out?
Well, Chris has come out recently.
I wish we had a clip of Mark Alemo readied up at this point.
When I began work.
I like dramatically zoomed in on you and everything, man. I was like waiting for it.
If you can get Mark Lehman to do voices, that would be fantastic.
Oh, that would be remarkable.
Yeah,
Some very bad things would happen to my pants, though. I'd have to lose those afterwards.
Heaven and health is over, most likely.
But yeah, the Cardassians and Dominion, they're what's next, and we're really, really looking forward to starting on those. But we've got to wait for our next patch before we can even think about that.
Right. So the next patch
got a lot of stuff planned.
Well, you've got a lot of assets that you're ready with, aren't you? You've got loads of stuff, and you've already got some stuff on the burner. Other models.
So the Galore's done.
That we haven't shown the community. There's a bunch of models, but. We can't really start showing that off quite yet, can we?
No, we can only show some of the models off, really, but we can't really do, any of the in-game stuff because we're gonna I mean, the community doesn't know, but we're going to change so much to what the game's like right now. I mean, the way everything is going to be so different.
Ooh, I'm hoping in a good way. That sounds awesome. I know I played a relatively new version, and I've been really, really happy with the changes, especially to the Klingon Empire.
Well, that's nothing yet. I mean, what's going to change really? If you know what the plans are, which you kind of.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I guess we want to keep that.
Well, we can
on
keep
the
some
down
of it. We can tell some of it. I mean, for one, the entire way planets work are just going to be completely redone. You're going to have completely new planet types with new options, new types of planets. I mean, it's
new artifacts associated with those planets.
Yeah,
Yes.
ones that fit more with the Star Trek.
Stuff like preservers and Iconians.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, that is going to be cool. Can we mention some of the random event stuff, or is that still
Well,
going to be a
we've already
surprise to
kind of
people?
secretly shown off part of one thing, so
We've hinted to one thing, and a lot of people have already guessed it, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have.
We will have the crystalline entity in game.
Yes.
What do you mean,
I've seen a
will?
screenshot.
We have.
Already in the
We
game.
already have it in game. Unfortunately, the community doesn't quite yet. Soon.
Yeah.
It's a bit weak at the moment, isn't it? Though it could do with a bit of a buff.
Yeah. It didn't kill everything forever, which disappointed me a little.
Yeah.
By the way, before you continue with the random events thing, you were asking what things you can expect in the expansions and stuff, Shaq?
Yeah, I was actually have a few more questions about that for sure.
I'm going to give you two examples. Obviously, we're going to get this guy.
We will show them what happens to those who oppose the will of Cardassia.
Yes.
And we're also going to get this person.
Target acquired.
Ooh.
And also this person.
Founders are wise in all things.
Was it Wei Yun, right? Yeah. Oh man,
What a
that's
guy.
gonna be good stuff.
What a guy.
Coming soon
All right.
to Armada 3, folks.
Well,
So I
soon
got-
TM.
Yeah.
So now-
yeah, the TM's important.
Will the Dominion and the Cardassians be separate factions, or will they be a combined faction?
Now that is where it gets exciting. It's something really special. What we're going to do with them is they're going to be one faction, but they're not.
What we're going to do
Love the
is
dramatic pause there. Just get on with it.
what we're going to do is at a critical juncture after the initial research phase, which is going to be all Cardassian for either race, because frankly, the ships that we know in canon are a little bit more basic, generally speaking. You are then going to be given the option: are you going to go down the Dominion Alliance road, or are you going to
Sell
go,
your soul.
or are you going to be the Union purists?
Okay.
And in order to do that, you choose your road, and it will lock out the research that's associated with the other faction.
So in a way, you will have two separate factions. You could have two Cardassian players at the beginning of a game, be equals at the start, and then go two different paths and
Exactly.
be different factions right there at the
Yes.
end.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And that would make some really interesting fleet fights, having the the purists fighting against the Dominion betrayers.
Pretty much. I mean, one faction would basically be like, Damar, while the other one is, the Dominion Alliance.
Wei Yun and all those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I really, really am excited for that one.
We were even toying, and this is not even confirmed, so don't anybody take this as gospel. We were even toying with the idea of doing Gul Madred at one point
Yes.
for the Cardassians.
Wow.
Light!
And the weird thing is, we have the voiceovers for it. Or
We have technology.
We have a voiceover for Gul Madred.
Oh, man. That's
If
going to be cool.
if we don't do Gul Madred, he'll be one of the other capital ships. But we do have a voice that sounds like him.
Right. Oh, man. Awesome. So I have to ask the question. Time frame on the expansion. Is there one?
But don't expect that soon. That's going
Don't
to take a
expect
while.
that one soon. Understandable. Especially with modding, everybody should know this. These guys are volunteers. They're doing this because it's a passion project for them. Nobody's paying them to do this. So the fact that we have this game to play is just because they wanted to make it. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with mods.
If you do wish to donate, I'll provide my PayPal account details, and so as everyone else will. And we can, we can.
Just send the money to this address.
Yeah, just
10 easy payments of $99.95 will get you an early access copy.
it will get you pictures and maybe a video.
Of
And it's
what? We
important
won't
that you
say.
know that we are
no,
princes
it's-
from Nigeria.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And we've got $100 million to deposit in your account. If you could only show us.
Right,
Why
what we need is
why am I now picturing Hakuna Matata?
what we need is your sort code and that 3-digit number on the back of your card.
Yes, we do like your sort code.
And if anybody actually is taking that seriously,
If you all want to do
get
that,
alive.
we'll make Armada 4.
Seriously, if anybody
Yeah.
take that seriously, get alive.
Yeah, I know. Come on now. All right, so now getting outside of the Star Trek Armada, what with the games that are coming out, it's kind of like the rebirth of space sims right now. What
is, yeah.
games? Yeah, what games are you guys excited for that you'd love to see modding support for? Or maybe they've already announced it. Like what's coming out?
Goddamn X Rebirth. No, I'm sorry. That was
Ah, you wound me.
What?
You wound me, sir.
I'm not-
Hang
no,
on. He's videoing our avatars here. Is there a fucking puke emote?
I'm gonna vomit now, and I'm sorry about that. That was terrible of me.
That one. Okay,
Wanna
just a
close the
quick
fuck
story,
down.
real quick. X Rebirth was, if you look it up right now on YouTube, you will find a video done by the XP Gamers. It has the most views. It beats out, I think, even the dev videos for that game. So I promoted the crap out of that, and it ended up being horrible. I did top 10 reasons to be excited, and it was the biggest pile.
Do I get the sneak feeling that Ego Snuff is never going to talk to you again?
Oh, no, they probably won't. They were nice enough to give me an early access copy, and I played it, and I was like, well, there seems to be some issues. And they said, well, that's the beta version. You're not playing the latest. Bullshit.
You were playing the latest. They lied.
It was, yeah. Oh, man. So I feel so bad because people bought that. But anyways.
Going back to other videos that
yeah.
you've done, Shaq.
Oh, no.
You've fairly recently done another top 10 reasons to be excited. And hell, I'm excited. That's Star Citizen.
Yes, that looks good.
Now, can you imagine
Yeah.
if that pulls an X Rebirth?
Oh, there are going to
Oh.
be so many.
I would
people.
die.
Me and
Yeah.
Connor have a one that we really would like to see.
Oh,
and
yes.
that is Elite Dangerous.
Indeed.
Ooh, yeah.
I think we're
Yeah, that one.
we're getting off track here.
He asked what games we were looking forward to.
Yeah, what games you guys are looking for, and which ones you'd love to see modding support for?
I'd love to see
Elite
Star
Elite
Swarm.
Dangerous. Oh, Star Swarm's a given. Everybody's looking forward to that, especially in the Sins community.
But if you don't know, Star Swarm is actually, it's an engine, right?
It's an
No,
engine.
no. The Nitrous engine is the engine. Starstorm is going to be a game, but they've released it like this, so you can actually check out if the engine will run for you. Now, I know
Okay.
it will run best on Mantle.
In other words, outsourcing for benchmarking tests saves a lot
Yeah.
of money.
Hey,
on
I'm
the
willing to do
move.
it. I definitely want to see it because from what I saw in some of the demo videos, it looked really good. They were like rendering individual rounds and ships, and
Yep.
to a
That's
scale that
ridiculous.
Sins would probably cry at.
Yeah, that's true. Mind you, having said that, I run it on my rig. I need a new rig if I want to play that damn engine.
Mind you, even me on my pretty damn decent rig, it only runs on low.
I average about
Oh, wow.
15 frames a second. I need a new rig for that. And
Oh man, yeah, fair enough. I'm probably gonna have to
Yeah,
try it.
that
I'll
looks
try
good.
it and I'll see how my rig handles it, but I'll probably do a video on it too.
a personal game I'm looking forward to is that game you showcased, Shaq. I think where you actually built the bridge, where you're on the bridge, you're walking around.
Oh.
Name of the game. I've talked about it with you off air before. I'm looking for the game. What the hell is that game?
Yeah, Flagship.
Flagship. Yes.
Flagship.
I am.
That is an
looking forward
indie
to
game that nobody seems to know about, and that one looks really cool. What is
Really
going on over here?
I'd love to be able to just fly into a system in Flagship and, personally command the battle in that system.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
in
from
many
the bridge?
ways-
Yeah.
Yeah, in many ways. When you actually see the visuals they've done on their alpha release with Flagship, I immediately think of the film Ender's Game.
Yeah.
It
It
looks very
definitely
promising.
is it's a
Very
neat concept. Definitely
Yeah,
a neat
it-
concept.
Like, imagine your ship exploding all around you, trying to escape from it as it's about to be destroyed.
Could you imagine
Yeah.
hey, just straight off subject, could you imagine a Star Wars mod for that game?
Or a Star Trek one.
Oh, good lord.
Standing on the bridge of a Galaxy class while you've got phasers firing everywhere, and
You think about it. You think about it, Shaq. A Star Wars mod for that. You're in command as one of the Moths or an admiral or stuff in command of a Star Destroyer.
that would be cool.
Killing rebels.
And you can go in that one. The idea behind that game is you're supposed to be able to go over to like a terminal. You can walk around first person, but you can go over to like a terminal and command your fleet and do everything from inside the bridge of your capital ship.
Can't imagine
and play
if the
it
ship
like
gets blown up
Sims.
then.
Yeah, you have to protect your capital ship. Taking out the opponent's command and control center is a legit strategy. At least you would think it would be.
It
all
would
right,
be a
so
terrifying strategy.
yeah, especially if it's your command and control.
Okay, speaking of mods that we're interested in and games that are upcoming that we'd like modding support for, we've actually got M4 in the room at the moment, and he is one of the developers of Sins of the Prophets. We'd just like to give the floor to him and see what he thinks.
Okay.
Take control of that.
Hi. Wasn't expecting that part, but yeah, I was the guy dancing around making a fool of myself earlier in the video.
That's nothing new.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
so,
got quiet now, haven't you?
So yeah, first you're dancing on tables.
Be all tough on the dance floor. Oh, but things get serious.
Now
yeah,
the
I
pressure's
don't
on.
do things too serious anymore.
Oh, so much pressure.
Well, tell us a little bit about Sins of the Prophets before we head out, because I've played it.
All right.
It's so much fun. It's crazy.
All right. Well, it's a Halo-themed mod for Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. And we're doing our best to stick to Mind Wipe. What the heck?
You see?
Payback's a bitch.
All right. Well, back to what I was saying. We do our best to stick to the actual lore of Halo, given the speed of the battles, which we've had some interesting debates and arguments over how the battle should look and feel. But we've gotten to where we are now, and we like it. And from what I've seen of your videos and your spotlight of our mod, thank you, by the way.
Oh yeah. I got to play an awesome mod, so I'm happy. Revenge of the Armada 3 team.
Yeah, I don't mind. I was doing push-ups on the floor earlier, but
Oh yeah.
You call that push-ups?
yeah, quote unquote. We'll avoid that discussion in this video and the trail of this video. But it's pretty fast. It's very fast-paced for Sins. The damage values are a bit off the Sins charts almost.
It's definitely a major change from the norm if you've played Sins of the Solar Empire. It's very fast. You know if you're going to win or lose that battle almost instantly in the version that I played.
I mean,
Hey, look, it's enemy.
yeah, that's literally what the UNSC's defensive turrets do. They do it. It's like something like 30,000 or 50,000 damage per shot.
Mm-hmm.
And they shoot every 5 or 10 seconds. I don't remember off the top of my head because I'm not the guy who did that.
Right.
I handle all the in-game text descriptions and that, and I also task some of the newer minions on the team in the coding area of the mod. I like having minions.
Oh
Chris
yeah.
can attest to that.
Now I gotta say your Sins of the Prophets has to be one of the most different, like unique gameplay for Sins, because a lot of the Sins mods kind of hold true to the original Sins, at least in a little bit, and that one was so foreign complete to the concept, but I loved it. I love the fast pace. I don't know if you're gonna keep it or if you're changing it. I hope you don't, kind of, just personal opinion, but yeah, it's cool.
We're planning on keeping it, and a lot of that difference goes back to the guy who originally handled the balance, and unfortunately he decided it was best for him to leave the team. But he did so on good terms with most of the team, and it worked out fine. But he did an incredible job with balancing the mod and getting the game speed right and everything. So hats off to him, because I mean, we wouldn't be where we are without him.
Jesus
Awesome.
Christ, if this was the VGXs, you'd be actually lynched off stage by now.
Well, good thing it's not, right, guys? Because I
All
think
right.
I escorted out by security a long time ago.
It's like,
Now you just got to get up on the table now because you know what? Everybody else has done it.
yeah, oh,
I
come
don't
on, we've had a 1-hour interview with Shaq for the XP Gamers and stuff. What's he been doing? He's been twerking all over the place for us. Payback's a bitch.
Oh yeah, no, I totally. I love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me for an hour and talking about the mod and everything that's coming out. I want to
Been a
say
pleasure.
thank you. I want to say thank you from the community, actually. All the people who've gotten to enjoy your mod. All the hard work, the effort, the time you guys have put into this mod is astounding. The level of detail and just how much fun it really is. You guys are obviously fans
Yeah,
of the
thank
franchise.
You. I agree with Max. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank
And
you.
more importantly, thanks to the community for all the support that they've given us.
Yeah,
and,
thank you, community.
and the feedback.
Yeah.
We do listen.
Yeah.
Wow.
These guys like to throw the credit off their shoulders for a lot of stuff. They've done an incredible job with Star Trek Armada 3. Even if they don't publicly own up to it, they did an incredible job with it.
I think all of our credit goes to Wheelman Dan.
I think it has to go to Arnold Schwarzenegger for his inspirational 160 quotes.
All right, so to wrap this up, epic dance party. Wow.
Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet. Engage. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so.
First duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth. Scientific truth, or historical truth, or personal truth. It is the guiding principle on which Starfleet is based. Now, if you can't find it within yourself to stand up, tell the truth, you don't deserve to wear that uniform.
This is becoming a speech.
You're the captain, sir. You're entitled.
Not entitled to ramble on about something everyone knows.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so.
He just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic.
Yeah, well, shut up and wait then.
Oh no, I don't have any cigarettes. It's fine.
No, he can come in with his avatar and jump on the table and.
No, I really need to poo as well.
Go ahead, take your breaks, do
Well,
your
go and
thing.
take the break.
Didn't
We have
mean
a
to
break.
that.
Yeah, use it as a break time. Yeah, go ahead.
Hunter, I really
I'll
need to
make
poo.
coffee.
If that's in the outtake,
Nothing but professional.
you know,
I
I
love
don't
it.
care if that's
Yeah,
in the outtakes.
some outtakes would be great.
Yeah.
Especially know how Shaq actually records them into the actual
Yeah.
video at the end. You probably have us all dancing on there with outtakes playing over.
Well, you guys have already had me doing push-ups on the
Yeah, pump it!